Hey YouTube, this is something a little bit off topic. I usually do things that are techie related, but I guess since newspapers aren't as prevalent as they used to be, or we used to have letters to the editor to form our and voice our opinion, I guess YouTube's kind of become that. So I'm just going to throw this comment out there and see if it resonates with the world. Um, Lately, I am becoming overwhelmed with all the people that want opinions for every product, every service, everything you participate in that costs money, and they all want to know, how do they do? Was that a good service? Was it a good product? I mean, this goes from Home Depot to McDonald's to your doctor's visits to, I mean, it's out of control. And, on the surface, it sounds like a good idea. You think, oh, good, they really care. But really, if you look at the forums and surveys that they want you to take, they're all like 1 through 5. The little matrices. Was it, from 1 to 5 good, or was it bad? And it's all things that they think are important. And what they're really doing is they're doing a subjective method of evaluating what they sell or what service that they provide, instead of doing an objective survey. An objective survey would be actually provide and fill in the blank, and being able to provide comments. And so when you got subjective things 1 through 5, you can plot those on a graph and create a pie chart, and you can compare year over year. How was the service last year compared to this year? Is it 2.5% better than it was last year? And it's just like the marketing and whatever people are in control. I'm a little older than most people. I'm not a fossil, but and actually I was born before the internet, and so before the internet, before we had all this take a survey crap, you used to actually reply with a letter. You'd write a letter. And you'd send something to some company that you were really impressed with. And usually companies would put those letters on the wall, and they'd share them with other prospective customers and things like that. And it was more meaningful. And you don't see that today. And I'm just so tired of it. I'll give you an example. I was at a computer store, and there was this salesman there who was just providing exemplary service, really knew his product. It was very nice, very understanding on every question I asked. He wasn't condescending, he wasn't rushed, and I was just totally impressed. And so when I was done, I was bringing the thing up front. I said, hey, can I talk to your manager? And it was almost like I poured a bucket of ice water over his head. He was like, scared to death that I was going to say something bad. And then he got the manager, and I took the manager aside, and I said, that employee over there, he's very smart, he knows a lot, and he treated me with excellent customer service, and I wanted you to know that. And he said, okay, well, come here. So he led me back to his office, and he handed me a form. And guess what was on the form? A bunch of questions with 1 through 5s. And he said, here, submit this to my company. And I said, no, 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 no. You're not getting this. I said, you physically go over and tell him that he did a great job taking care of me. And I said, this is the kind of stuff that gets people happy inside. Not filling a bunch of crap out for a company, but the stuff that goes inside and comes from your heart to another human being. We've lost that connection, and we need to get it back, and we got to stop putting everything in statistics. People need to start telling everybody else if you're doing a good job. And honestly, the stuff that you read on the internet, good or bad, how much of it can you really believe? There's just so much misleading crap that you want to believe somebody's quote on an Amazon, and who knows if it was written by a competitor who doesn't like the product and is trying to badmouth you, and so on and so forth. So this is the kind of stuff that's genuine, stuff that's real, and we really need to get back there and stop all this 1 through 5, filling out surveys, start writing letters. Tell people what you really think, if you're happy, if you're moved by the service. And, if a customer gets good service and maybe doesn't send in a letter, sometimes no news is okay. It means that, they're happy. But if you're really super moved and you really like what they did, send them a letter. And I think We should be doing more of that these days. And I am routinely now not filling out forms. I'm not sending in surveys at the bottom of receipts that you could win a $5 million prize. You know, how many of those actually get awarded? Come on, so seriously, think about this. I'd really like to see the list of people that have actually won anything from filling all these surveys out. All it does is just feeds the corporate beast. Start caring about people. Start caring from the heart. Peace. I'm out.